Hello everyone, friends! If you haven't watched the new trailer about the Nords released by the developers of Bannerlord today, be sure to head over to my channel and check it out after this video. Let's read through everything they've added about this new faction. In this developer blog for Warsouls, we've turned our attention to the Wild North to introduce the Nords to you. We'll look at their backstory, culture, and talk about the features of the kingdom, including architecture, equipment, troops, and much more. Let's find out what they'll say about the pirates who will be raiding the waters of Calradia. As always, keep in mind that some details may change as the release approaches. So the Nords, in the far north of Calradia, long before a single crown united the Norvigs, each inhabited fjord existed independently, relying on the sea for its survival. Local chieftains would send their ships south, carrying walrus ivory, whale oil, and fish to sell, and then return to the fjords laden with loot and captives. Until recently, southerners could console themselves with the thought that each of the half-dozen so-called kings of Nordvig controlled only a shrine or a slave market surrounded by a wooden palisade and nothing more. However, a generation ago, Valborn the Hungry returned after 10 years of service in the Imperial Guard of Vhagar, bringing with him untold riches. He used this wealth to subjugate the northern lands, forcing their chieftains through blood and bribery to become his jarls. Today, it is his son who rules. And although the bonds holding this new kingdom together are weak, they can be strengthened by turning the vassals' attention to conquest. Valborn's son, Harold the Golden of the Throne Searing clan, now rules Trondelag. He is an experienced warrior who, under other circumstances, would have loved everything that followed him into battle and feasted by his side. But he is a king in a land that is still dissatisfied with the status of the kingdom. Many blame him for his father's sins and would gladly return to the old days when they bowed to no one. On your screens you can see what the previous king apparently looked like and what his son looks like now. The homeland of the Northerners. On the map, the lands of the Northerners stretch from the Yumna River in the east through Nordvig to the island of Beinland in the west. There are 4 cities located here: Hargard, Trondelag, Gresifjord, and Kvalve. For example, Hargard stands on the rocky bank of the Yumna River and was founded by Nordic tribes from the western fjords several generations ago. Today it serves as a meeting place for the Nords, Vanir and Sturgs, who gather the riches of the river valley and sell them to the peoples of the south. On your screens you can see the city of Hargard. Here, as throughout the north, life follows the old ways. The Long Dolmat serves as both a dwelling and a gathering place. The shipbuilders soak pine and oak in the water, and each clan tends to its own gardens. Throughout the land, the Nords build with wood and turf, with thatched roofs, curved eaves, and beams adorned with dragon heads. The walls of northern towns and castles follow the contours of the ever-undulating hills. Their lines curve along with the land. Wooden or stone towers rise above sturdy palisades, whose logs rest on solid stone foundations. At this point, you can see a screenshot of these very castles. We have the first level made of wood, the second level where wood and stone are combined, and the third level, truly massive walls. Beyond the palisade, the tavern welcomes both friends and strangers alike. Nets hang from the beams, and in the center of the hearth, the long tables bear traces of countless feasts. Rising even higher is the donjon, where the Jarl's throne faces the hall, and just behind a wooden and cloth screen are his private chambers. Look, this is a real Viking longhouse. It looks absolutely stunning. But beyond these halls stretches the true expanse of the Nord Kingdom. The northern border where the very land shapes every path of the battlefield. Along the coast, rocky peaks rise steeply above the waves, while deeper inland, dense green forests close in around the road. And beyond that stretch wide stone fields, where trees are only rarely seen. Next up, we have northern equipment and troops. Nord warriors are equally armed for both sea and solid ground. Their round shields can be plain, painted, or decorated. They are armed with one-handed or two-handed axes, spears arranged in a shield wall, as well as javelins and throwing axes which they carry and hurl before battle. At their side hangs a straight sword, and among them, the archers carry an agrate, a blade with a long handle for the strongest hands. Their armor ranges from quilted jackets and sturdy leather to chainmail, with cloaks thrown over their shoulders for protection against the elements. The helmets are designed to provide a clear view and easy breathing. After all, a warrior needs to keep a clear mind even when the deck creaks beneath him. Here you see a screenshot of various shields. A Nord warband begins with younglings, men barely able to hold a shield, armed with nothing but an axe and their courage. From there, their path branches out. It seems we're about to learn about the troop branches of these Nords. Those who master the art of archery, like hunters in the forests and along the coast, grow into skilled archers in chainmail, capable of unleashing volleys across a clearing or the deck of a ship. Those who stand at the center of the shield wall start as drengs before moving on to the traditional axe or spear. The path of the axe leads from battle-hardened warriors to fearsome berserkers or mighty scalebearers. The path of the spear rises to Ulfhednar and Wolfskins, masters of the deadly Adgir. Damn, we're looking at what these fighters look like right now. Honestly, it looks mesmerizing, really cool. Although I've already seen Nords in mods and sometimes they even looked better there. As in any country, high-ranking warriors follow their own path to war. They start out as Ethelings, young warriors entrusted with their first shield, and rise to Thanes, seasoned warriors in service to their Jarl. Then they serve as Jarlsmen or Herdmen, receiving increasingly sturdy armor, stronger steel, and shields worthy of their rank. Only the fiercest and most loyal are honored. With the privilege of carrying the decorated round shield of a Huskar. We can see them now as well. Now these are real Vikings. With the introduction of naval battles, we are also adding new types of troops, seafarers. For these warriors, the rolling of the deck and the scraping of the planks are second nature, and unlike others, they do not receive any penalties when the battle moves to the sea or a river. You see, regular fighters will have penalties. For the Nords, every warrior is a seafarer, which increases their unit's readiness to fight on water. The Kazites have no such troops, while others can muster only a handful of devoted seafarers. Soldiers who are not trained to walk the deck lose all their skills when the battle moves to the deck and sails. Seafarers also fight well on land, although their lighter equipment suited for speed aboard ship may put them at a disadvantage against heavier opponents on shore. When the battle moves inland, Nord captains rally their warriors under new battle standards. Their flags have the classic Viking shape, a quarter-circle banner hung from a crossbar with fringe along the curve and topped with a carved animal head. In our case, we see a Drucker. As with other cultural banners, each design has its own effect in land battles. Some reduce damage from cavalry charges, while others undermine the enemy's morale. When starting a new campaign of battle standards, the choice of culture will of course include the Nords. Being seafarers, they travel faster along rivers and coastal seas, and also gain more loot when raiding villages, villagers, and caravans. However, their army loses cohesion on land. Next, you'll be greeted by the appearance selection screen. Here, you'll find a variety of new options. There will be a total of 19, including new beards, hairstyles, and tattoos that can create a face suited for both the open sea and the battlefield. After choosing the Nord culture and appearance, you'll see the family background screen adapted to Nordic traditions, one of several game systems where we've integrated the Nords. Your choices here are based on the history and traditions of the Nords, making each starting path feel true to their lore. We've taken care of this in other game systems as well. For example, in children's education, which now includes hints and outcomes specific to the Nords. As in any other culture, joining the Kingdom of the Nords grants you a gift from the king, and winning their tournaments brings rewards unique to this culture. We've also added 14 new banner symbols with a Nordic theme. At the same time, the emblems of the Nord factions remain exclusive to the Nords themselves. We can see these flag symbols on the screens right now. And what would naval battles be without pirates? As soon as you set out to sea, it won't be long before you encounter pirates. They roam the waterways like marauders on land, sailing in groups of 2 or 3 light and medium ships, preying on busy ports in search of unprepared travelers. A fierce battle can shatter their hulls and decimate their crew, but in time they always return, replenished and ready to threaten trade routes once again. In the southern waters you may encounter corsairs. Their appearance is inspired by the pirates of the barbarian coast, with new equipment crafted to match their rank. Their ranks progress from corsair to corsair warrior and finally to corsair chieftain. In the northern waters, you'll encounter sea raiders, the naval version of their land-based counterparts. Well guys, if you haven't watched the full trailer provided by the Bannerlord developers, be sure to head over to the channel and check it out. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment. Thank you all. Goodbye everyone.